Hello there, Zai. Okay, thank you very much for your work. Looks great. Sorry for the delay. There's just so many students on the online course at the moment. I read through your notes, your emails, and you said that you just wanted help with the grammar and the proofreading and stuff like that. I don't think that's wise because just a quick look at your essay, I think we can work on the essay structure because we have to remember that the exam is basically two parts, your language skills and your IELTS skills, your exam skills. And from a quick look at this, we need both. Let's have a look at the essay. Along with the development of the global economy and the coming of knowledge age, knowledge is regarded as the key resource for a country to obtain and retain competitive advantages. Good, great vocabulary here, right? Can we rephrase this so we don't say knowledge twice, especially so close together? Okay. Yes, we could even just say this is regarded as the key resource. And that would sound much easier than saying knowledge twice. Okay. Therefore, instead of so, education is especially important. Good. Whether governments should pay for all children's educational expenses has aroused widespread controversy. Good. Okay, as far as I'm concerned, we don't need this. Okay, we could just say my opinion, comma. The potential benefits of this initiative overshadow its perceived drawbacks. Not bad, but there's nothing in that sentence that is specific for this actual essay. So we have to link that sentence, okay, of children's education. And then the examiner can give you points. Otherwise, you could just fill your essay with these kinds of sentences, and the examiner knows that you've just memorized the sentences and you're squeezing them in, okay? Admittedly, check your capitalization. Admittedly, it is, we can't use contractions in a formal academic essay, challenging for governments to bear the total cost of education. As the implementation of a two-child policy, more and more newborns come into the world. Good. Taking full responsibility for education costs for the next generation is likely to impose a heavy financial burden on the government, or for the government. Apart from the costly expenditure on education, the decline of financial revenue would lead to less spending on other services such as medical and transportation. Excellent. You do need to introduce an element of hedging, okay? May lead to less spending on other services such as medical and transportation. And here we'd have said medicine, okay? Good essay, good paragraph, sorry. I would have put in a real world example, and just literally just use, for example, in Shanghai, a recent study showed, blah, blah, blah. Yeah? A recent study showed that 3 out of 2 youths needed financial aid for their education, blah, blah. Okay, and just, that's how I would give a full, academic example. And there's a full module about that on the online course, as there is about hedging. Nonetheless, government has the obligation to take charge of the part of education spending of family. I don't get that. This sentence needs to be cut up and made shorter to make it easier for you to write and easier for me to read, or the examiner to read. Nonetheless, government has the obligation to take charge of education spending for the long-term development of society and reduce inequality in education. Okay, so there's some preposition mistakes there as well. And also I just tried to shorten it, reduce the unnecessary to make it more concise. Yep. The developing situation of education reflects modernistic standards and degree of a country. Because the progress of a country owes much to technology and advanced technology is created by talent, young people without knowledge cannot expect to become assets of the society or assets for society. Education provides us with an equal opportunity to roam the ocean of knowledge. Okay. Moreover, for individuals, receiving education is the basic right which should not, contractions, be deprived of should not be deprived of, or which should not be taken away, full stop. Okay? or should not be taken away, comma, due to economic conditions, full stop. Some people live in backward, okay, this was enough for that paragraph, okay? You've got to write 250 words minimum, but you've only got 40 minutes, so I would strongly suggest you start doing your practice essays in 40 minutes, okay? Because this is enough, and now we're going on to another argument, and this argument was already a little bit it was a little bit all over the place, okay? So we're going from development, we're going to technology, we're going to an ocean of knowledge. We need to make it a little bit more concise and centered, ideally just on one argument, okay? Not moving around to different arguments. If you've just got one argument, it's easier to read, easier to follow, and it's easy for the examiner to give you points, okay? Because he doesn't have to double, or she doesn't have to double, triple, quadruple check whether you're fulfilling task response, okay? To conclude, part of the financial income of a government, I'm guessing, should cover the cost of education for children. However, education or capitalization spending by the family should be shared by governments and families. Okay, however, education spending on the family should be shared by governments and families. This would be helpful to ease the burdens of for both sides, okay? So we use the conditional there. We're showing the examiner we know more grammar forms, and we're going to pick up some points, grammatical range and accuracy. Okay, task response, you did really well. You've answered the question. In fact, you could have mentioned this at the end, the advantages and the disadvantages. Okay, you've just put forward your suggestions, which is okay, but we could have just covered that a little bit in more detail. Your vocabulary is excellent, but cohesion and coherence definitely needs to be worked on. Okay, so have a look at the links I sent you. It'd be great to be working with you, and sorry for the delay in getting your work back to you. Okay, Zay? All the best. By the way, there is a special offer which is only available for 24 hours if you take action immediately. Okay? Alright, have a great day.